Hey comrades, today I'm going to be talking about anger and how volatile it is. If one manages to control it, however, they will have unlocked themselves a pretty effective tool. Anger is something that we often find ourselves or others at the mercy of. We constantly find ourselves blowing up over small things or finding some way to tick others off. Anger has the same effect as alcohol. It causes one to do things that they normally wouldn't do without thinking straight. It basically forces the person to do them in the moment. And then when everything cools down, they're sort of in the hungover state, feeling regret for the aforementioned actions. There's a verse in the Bhagavad Gita that outlines this. Chapter 2, verse 63. Krodha bhavati sanmoha, sanmoha shmriti vibhramaha, shmriti brahmsad buddhi nasya, buddhi nasya pranyasati. This translates to, from anger, complete delusion arises, and from delusion, bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, intelligence is lost. And when intelligence is lost, one falls down again into the material pool. This basically overall says that anger starts a chain reaction where one of the fundamental skills needed for clear thinking is destroyed. There is a trap that one can fall into, and it is very contagious. The one who is possessed with anger is always on the offensive, trying to take it out on the source. Since the judgment is clouded, then misidentification is common, which means that the anger is released upon something or somebody that has no relation to the problem. People hate to be told that they are wrong, and when it's coming hard and fast in the form of an attack, then they will well up anger to form a defensive and then counterattack. This turns out into an all-out war where relations are soured and just goes to show that anger is pretty contagious. For example, you're having a really bad day and you're steamy and whatnot, and then your friend comes up to you and yeah, does a little bit of does jokes around a little bit, like how you guys always do, but then since your mind is clouded, you don't know how to that it's a joke and you can't take it, and you straight up unleash on that guy, unleash on your friend. You unload on him, and say, yeah, F you, or swear at him, and then he's like, and then he swears at you back, and then in a few minutes you're done with each other. You just you don't want any part of each other ever again. Some people have the burning desire to stick it to a superior, like a boss or an admin, but they really can't lash out because it will end up bad for them, like them losing a job, for example. However, in secret, their mind promotes some anger inducing propaganda to them. That is called passive aggressiveness. And, it goes to show that it is something that you need to dispose of ASAP. Because the longer you keep it inside of you, the more it destroys you. It needs to be let out. If not let out, it just keeps bugging you all over and over again. You can't just seem to focus on anything other than your problem. This is where you have the opportunity to convert that negative chi into positive chi as to help with progressiveness. Find a positive outlet where you can blow off some of that steam. Take up martial arts or kickboxing. Join football, rugby, or wrestling, or some sport where you can hit people within a controlled environment. Lift weights and train. Like, seriously, comrades, you can make this as creative as you want. If one has the burning desire for success, like if they want it badly enough, they will surely get it. Anger fuels the fire. If you take a hard hit, your brain pumps you full of adrenaline so that you can pick yourself back up and hit the guy harder. Society tries to oppress anger and curb it, especially in kids. You know, they just want the lake to completely evaporate. You ever hear of a guy even like, trying to even just defend himself, then obviously you're gonna have his name included in, court cases and whatnot for like he's gonna get like even the law comes down on those hard for, just using it to defend themselves. Like, here's the thing with schools. I mean, even like say a bully tries to like physically assault you or something like that, and like you just try to like and like even if you like defend yourself and like hit back enough to just get away, school still punishes you because society just doesn't want anger to exist. But anger will still exist. There's no denying that. No matter how many laws you make up to stop it, like those laws will eventually get broken. Anger is here to stay. Like what these schools are afraid of with these self-defense and whatnot is that, there's a parent out there that can afford a six-figure lawsuit, and sure enough they'll get slapped with it. So this just goes to show that society, just does not want anger to exist, which is an unrealistic expectation. Anger can be its own police sometimes. Like, it can enforce itself. To think about it, why does hockey allow lots of fights? Refs in other sports can't seem to keep up with the flow of games, but games, especially with fouls and whatnot, but especially with who's the perpetrator. So then it goes back to the point of punishing both parties involved, even though, like, one side is totally innocent, but just because they got involved in something means that, they have to get slapped with, say, an ejection or like, like suspensions from games. No, like in hockey, if you like come cheap shot our star, no, like the ref doesn't have to hand you the ref. It's like at this point, it's totally optional if he wants to hand you a penalty or not. What you have to be more scared of is not the ref, but the whole team coming after you. Well, like say it's Edmonton Oilers, right? I mean, if you take a cheap shot on Connor McDavid, then Milan Lucic is going to come right after you. He doesn't care about a penalty. It's literally just like it polices the sport pretty much. Um, we should allow like we as a society should allow kids from a young age, roughhouse a little bit, like on the school playground or whatnot, right? In a controlled environment, so that they know what the punishments are like for stepping out of line, because that way the lessons are going to be easier. Like you know it's way easier compared to say if they physically assault somebody when they're grown up, where the lessons are even more harsher, like jail time. Anger is a pretty effective tool if you learn how to control it. Anyways, comrades, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next video.